playing for. Neither team will be able to get their hands on it until Monday night when the final is played. But they can take one step towards that final by winning here tonight. Big night for Zaniolo in particular, and Atalanta as a whole. Did win silverware last year themselves in the Europa League, but domestically still chasing that all-important trophy. Al Awal Park, Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. The venue for the first of the two semi-finals in the EA Sports FC Super Cup. And Inter have been there and done it. They know how to get this competition won. For Atalanta, it's a new sensation. And immediately they have some defending to do, because a mistake from Atalanta defensively. Thuram too quick for Hien. Kosunu did well to block Lautaro Martinez on 2 occasions, and Carnesecchi may well have kept that out. Zappacosta wasn't to know. Inter made a very fast start in the league meeting between these two sides at the back end of August. It was only match day 3. It was an early own goal from Jim City, then Barella scored a stunning volley inside 10 minutes, and the Nerazzurri looking to do likewise this evening. Di Marco, Barella with the ball in, headed clear by Derone. Çalhanoğlu's kept it in play, or so he thought. Probably relieved to see it go out in the end, because he'd almost inadvertently presented possession to Zappacosta. Very bold team selection this from Gasperini. 5 survivors, incidentally, from the draw against Lazio. 2 at the back, the goalkeeper, plus the skipper, Martin Derone, and Zappacosta. And you can hear from the local crowd here that the bulk of these... Ordinarily, we wouldn't refer to Inter as the Nerazzurri when facing Atalanta, but we can afford ourselves that luxury this evening, as it's they who wear the black and blue. Atalanta in their chain strip of all white. Barella trying to find Bisek. 2-1. Ruggeri lost the ball there and then ended up fouling Bisek. It might be a talking to for him. He's fit again, having missed the trip to Rome, where Atalanta's 11-match winning streak in Serie A came to an end. They could only draw away at Lazio. Bastoni given away by him. Zappacosta charging forward. Çalhanoğlu. There was talk about Mario Pasalic playing this evening as a number 10. Atalanta going with a 3-4-1-2 shape. Pasalic being asked to keep Çalhanoğlu quiet, but Gasperini has caught us all a bit on the hop with that starting 11. Zaniolo had only featured as a substitute prior to tonight. Just when Kolasinac thought he'd won the ball back, Daniele Chithio awards a free kick the way of Inter. They're continually discovering new ground. Atalanta, this was uncharted territory until recently, this sort of stage for them, but 3 Coppa Italia finals under Giampiero Gasperini, albeit 3 times they finished as runners-up. 2019, 2021, and then most recently earlier on this year against Juventus. But they did win the Europa League. That meant they already played for a piece of silverware before the domestic season had even started, that UEFA Supercoppa, where they lost 2-0 to Real Madrid. But it's a more conservative approach than we're used to seeing from Atalanta. Typically it's man v man all over the pitch. So far they've sat off a touch. Mkhitaryan to ram round the corner. Di Marco will try and keep it in play. I'm not sure he managed it. In fact, he did. The whistle hasn't gone, and Carnesecchi there to gather it in any case. Given away by Zaniolo. Fair to say that Inter are Atalanta's kryptonite, essentially. 6 straight wins for Inter against Atalanta in all competitions. The last 2 matches finished 4-0 in favour of Simone Inzaghi's side, but they've lost the ball there to Scalvini. Barella gets it back. That might be the rationale behind Giorgio Scalvini playing in midfield this evening. Mkhitaryan, Lautaro Martinez. Came off Brescianini, one back by Kolasinac. Given away though to Di Marco again. Atalanta ceding possession too easily. Thuram. Di Marco. Bastoni with the cross, away by Kolasinac. The issue though when you play Niccolò Zaniolo as a lone striker is he's not a traditional centre-forward. There's no one there to hold up the ball. They are without Matteo Retegui due to injury. Hasn't travelled. We're so used to seeing the pairing of De Ketelaere and Lookman. Perhaps they will appear as the evening wears on. De Vrij. It is not a sellout this evening at Al Awwal Park, but it will be tomorrow night for the match between Juventus and Milan. If Inter go on to win this semi-final, as they are tipped to do so, would mean we'd have either a Milan derby in the final. We've seen that before in Saudi Arabia, albeit in a one-off game, or we could have a Derby d'Italia, were it to be Juventus to make it through. Then again, there are several different possibilities, especially if Atalanta were to overturn the odds tonight. Bastoni. Kolasinac got there ahead of his opposite number and apologises to Barella for blasting it against him. Brescianini dispossessed. It is an Atalanta throw. They have the benefit of being fresh, the likes of Brescianini, Scalvini and Zaniolo, but they haven't played anywhere near as much football as many of their colleagues, nor indeed their opponents. Scalvini nearly got it back from Zaniolo. Barella has it though for Inter. Di Marco wanted the return from Mkhitaryan, who thought better of it. It was he who appeared in the press conference alongside Simone Inzaghi yesterday. One journalist tried to suggest that the reason why Inter took the Armenian into the press conference was because of superstition, him having been there before when they'd won. Left by Lautaro there for Thuram, but Atalanta just can't get hold of the ball. It's all Inter. Lest we forget, they nearly had goal inside the opening minute. In fact, shades of that double save from Carnesecchi at Lazio before Guendouzi then struck the bar. That was early on. This time around it was a double block from Kosunu to keep out Lautaro and then Zappa Costa off the line. Mkhitaryan, Thuram into his stride. Was fouled by Kolasinac. Inter might be entitled to ask whether that deserved a yellow card, given where Thuram was on the field. There's Antonio Percassi. How impressed he'll be as to the rise of this club. He Also has the tradition year in, year out of saying Atalanta's first target is survival. But they were top of Serie A at the end of 2024. Albeit Inter would point to an asterisk denoting a game in hand. To keep out Lautaro Martinez. It's a passage of play appreciated by the Inter president Pepe Marotta. But Lautaro is incredulous that he hasn't scored here. Wonderful goalkeeping from Carnesecchi. He's been doing that all season long. I think the flag went up against Lautaro, but Carnesecchi wasn't to know that. It's a good hit. It's an even better save. Exceptional goalkeeping. In fact, it is a corner. And Inter very nearly scored from the set piece. Bisek rising well. Played 10 minutes. All the chances have gone the way of the Serie A champions. Bisek beating Scalvini in the air. This time Carnesecchi very much had it covered. Those supporters delighted to see top-level sports come to Saudi Arabia. Huge followings for the big clubs in Italy, particularly Inter Milan and Juventus. But Atalanta are an emerging force. Play some lovely football as well, which will help them grow. Zaniolo looking for Ruggeri, who's got the cross away. De Vrij not only dealt with it, he found his international teammate Dumfries. Bisek taking a chance. They've won it back here. Zappacosta was on his weaker foot, but finally Atalanta have a shot towards goal. Brescianini. Hien. Kosunu. Now Samardzic. He's done well to find Derone. Derone with the cross. Bisek up and away. That's Scalvini. It drops the way of Brescianini. Now he needs some support. Derone with the cross again. Scalvini wins the header. Who got the last touch? It's a goal kick, but already we are seeing what Giorgio Scalvini can offer in midfield, more of an aerial presence. Pepe Marotta expects Inter to pick up several pieces of silverware this season, I'm sure. They are the title favourites domestically. They're one of the teams potentially tipped to win the Champions League. But this is a competition that they invariably pick up mid-season, gives them momentum in their pursuit of further trophies. Çalhanoğlu. There were those speculating as to whether the result tonight might give us a steer on what happens in the league. Dumfries kept quiet there by Ruggeri, two very quick players. Is that a corner? Needlessly conceded by Ruggeri. Carnesecchi's not happy because Inter went close in their previous such situation. But we are seeing again why Inter tend to thrive against Atalanta. Yes, it's still goalless, but in under 14 minutes of play, Inter have fashioned a handful of very promising openings already. Di Marco with the corner. Derone's header broke the way of Thuram. Kosunu had to get there. Can Atalanta counter? Zaniolo. Kolasinac. De Vrij is first to the loose ball. Thuram now. Lautaro Martinez. Offside. It's not just the fact that Inter have won 6 in a row against Atalanta and the previous 2 have ended 4-0. It's also the fact that of the last 17 matches in all competitions, Atalanta have only won once in November 2018. That's more than 6 years ago now. 6 draws and 10 losses from the remaining games in the sequence. Whether it's a mental block or certainly a technical golf at times down the years. Zappacosta. Derone. Samardzic likes to shoot, instead he finds Scalvini. Ruggeri with the cross, Brescianini attacked it, and Scalvini had such a big chance because Bastoni headed it towards him. That would have been great news for Gasperini and Scalvini in particular. His most recent start came in early June, game between Atalanta and Fiorentina. And he scored in that match before coming off injured, having done his cruciate ligaments in his knee. Great to see him playing again, and with that free header there, just didn't seem to realise how unattended he was. Bastoni got it wrong under pressure from Brescianini, and in fact, Scalvini had time to chest it down and take his time. No one was getting back to him. And only then, afterwards, did it dawn upon him that he had more time than he realised, and what a big chance that was. Samardzic with the corner, dealt with by Lautaro Martinez. And again, cleverly done by Çalhanoğlu. Thuram. Zappacosta tracking back. Atalanta have spoken about how Scalvini and Scamacca, who is slated for a return at the start of next month, February, will be like 2 new January signings, having lost both players to serious injuries. Scalvini is back, Scamacca not yet. That's why they don't plan to act this month. Though there might be some outgoings. Ben Godfrey hasn't travelled because he stayed in Zingonia to train. Amid talk of a possible move. That switch hasn't worked out for him. Ruggeri, Samardzic under pressure. Goes by the nickname Lackey, if you can pick up that name from our effects microphone. That was more positive by Bastoni. Mkhitaryan, Çalhanoğlu. Derone over-eager to win the ball, and he's been penalised there. Might take a set piece for Inter this evening. Then again, it would take quite a strike from this distance to beat Carnesecchi. They have 2 wonderful dead ball specialists. Çalhanoğlu is one. Missed a penalty, but also very adept at taking free kicks. So too Di Marco with that world-class left foot. Çalhanoğlu shifts it for Di Marco. Couple of ricochets, and now Atalanta charge forward. Look at the white shirts. Hien for Zaniolo. Brescianini ahead of him. Zaniolo allowed Barella to come back to regain possession. That bounced off the referee. It will be a drop ball the way of Inter. '24 was incredible for Atalanta. Not just the Coppa Italia final, again, 3rd under Gasperini, but they won the Europa League, and handsomely so. 3-0 against Bayer Leverkusen, the only defeat the German double winners suffered last season. But all told, 36 wins, a club record, 127 goals for. Also their best ever number. We have a 3-horse title race to talk you through throughout the second half of the season. Napoli right there as well, same points as Atalanta. Inter 1 behind, albeit with that game away at Fiorentina still to recover. Thuram getting away from Kosunu. Here's Di Marco. If Atalanta were to... De Vrij's ball wasn't particularly well hit. It was Hien who gambled on trying to steal the ball. Neither Lautaro nor Di Marco connected as sweetly as they would have liked, but either way, Carnesecchi still asked to make a couple of saves. That was the better of the two hits. Di Marco lost his footing as he struck the rebound. And but for the goalkeeper, could be on for another Inter 4-0 win here. Atalanta aren't doing much defending. Di Marco takes the corner. Thuram's header, Bisek underneath it, Lautaro Martinez, he's missed another one. He has been out of form, but he did score at Cagliari. It's been far from prolific, this campaign, for the Inter skipper so far, but a bit of head tennis there. Thuram for Bisek, and for once, Carnesecchi wasn't getting there. Static, and relieved to see the ball flash wide. That goal at Cagliari was only his 7th of this season, half a dozen in Serie A. Plus the goal in the 4-0 win over Crvena Zvezda, Red Star Belgrade. Barella. Thuram. Time and space for Mkhitaryan. Cleverly done to find Thuram. Driving at Ruggeri. Thuram with the cross, away by Kolasinac. Won't run out of play for Barella, and Zaniolo very intelligently just nudged Barella into the ball and out of play. Long by Ruggeri, away by De Vrij, then into touch from Scalvini. It will be hard to decide how much of a say this could have on the title race and the balance of power because of Atalanta's team selection. I do wonder whether Gasperini has decided to completely overhaul things because it hasn't worked out in the past for Atalanta. They do say the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Well, he's done something different tonight in pursuit of a different outcome. No foul this time by Brescianini on Mkhitaryan, who stayed down. That's why the referee will briefly pause proceedings. Another look at this. It was essentially a 1v1 for Lautaro Martinez, but decided to shoot from the edge of the box, caught it well. Carnesecchi had enough time to look at it. He was not quite at full stretch. This is the closest we've come to a goal, though. Fingertip save from Carnesecchi, who has more than justified the club's decision to install him as #1 definitively this season, to dispense with Juan Musso. Çalhanoğlu, ball's broken his way, still Çalhanoğlu, will he hit it this time? Now it's Barella. Came off Ruggeri into one handball, the referee not interested. Zaniolo. Too much on it for De Roon. Bastoni tried to get there and did, albeit with his arm. That's why Inter wanted handball, but Ruggeri's arm was down by his side. It was a natural position. Kolasinac, not seen much of Ladea as an attacking force, but they're clinging on for the moment. Samardzic, nice big switch of play. Zappacosta. It's almost like a home crowd here for Inter. Kosunu, wonder whether we might get some boos if Atalanta were to score. Samardzic, Kolasinac. Now the flag is raised, offside. Whether they make it to the final or not, these teams still have fairly big rest before their next Serie A assignment. Their matchday 19 games, which are supposed to be played this weekend, have been pushed back by 10 days. Atalanta host Juventus, Inter play Bologna, but before then they have round 20, a little bit counterintuitive. Atalanta will go to Udine, Inter go to Venice. Sloppy from Sommer, then again he's barely had anything to do. Samardzic. Now Derot. Zappacosta. Samardzic. Kosunu. Brescianini with the cross. Zappacosta. Not a bad try. Had to generate the power, tried to glance it with conviction towards the far corner. Lovely shape on the cross from Brescianini, though. Sommer had it covered. Thuram finds Barella. In to start again with Di Marco. Barella's touch was heavy, was caught by Scalvini there. Scalvini is no stranger to yellow cards, and he's the first player to be cautioned here. One of those where your opponent looks like they've overrun it, you see an opportunity to win the ball, and then just as you commit, they shift it away from you. That's what happened here. Barella was caught heavily by Scalvini. Both players felt the force of that challenge, and the yellow card probably the correct call. Çalhanoğlu, Thuram giving chase. It's a good battle between him and Isak Hien. Hien's won the ball. And again, but Barella stabs it to Mkhitaryan. Kosunu there ahead of Lautaro. Inter have it again though. Barella, Mkhitaryan decided against going towards goal, instead looked for the creative solution for Lautaro. Probably the wrong call in the end. But Inter playing with so much confidence and freedom. It's been a good game of football, this. De Vrij. Hien again positive, but that is a double-edged sword, as we saw earlier on. Scalvini for Zaniolo. Can run at Bisek now. Instead he's found Samardzic. Mkhitaryan with the interception. Samardzic. Kosunu. Derot. Trying to run away from Mkhitaryan. Zappacosta has Samardzic in support, didn't see him in time. Is this all a ploy from Atalanta to keep their best players fresh for the second half? Samardzic, it's very left-footed. Zappacosta. Brescianini, away by Dumfries. Kosunu. Nicely done. Brescianini, if he can keep his balance. In the end, he bumped into Bastoni. To Ketelada on the bench, so too Lookman, Pasalic, Edison, plenty of quality for Atalanta. They're all first teamers we're used to seeing. Would be Ademola Lookman's 100th game for Atalanta as well across all competitions. Barella. Well in by Bisek. Had a hold of Zaniolo's shirt there. That's why the decision was made by Dario Cecconi on this near side. We've got Khaled Bari on the opposite side. Inter only behind Juventus in terms of appearances in the Supercoppa. Senza fallo, says Simone Inzaghi. No foul. Make sure you don't commit one. Çalhanoğlu. Away by Kosunu. Inter hoping to win this competition to match Juventus's record of 9 victories in the Italian Supercoppa. Inter have the better proportion in terms of success rate. 8 wins and just 4 defeats. Juventus with 9 wins, albeit nearly the same number of losses. The Final Four format does mean, more often than not, in years to come, we're likely to see most, if not all, of Italy's big three. Thuram. Now Mkhitaryan. Space opens up for him. Di Marco. Çalhanoğlu. Mkhitaryan, who himself has won the Supercoppa on 8 occasions. It's various national equivalents across 5 different countries: Armenia, Ukraine, England, Germany and Italy. Astonishing record. Kolasinac, very calmly done by him. Scalvini didn't keep it in play, however. Çalhanoğlu. Well, he got his wish, Gasperini said. We mustn't concede early. It will be hard to come back if they take the lead. They're hanging tough, Atalanta, albeit they've had some hairy moments. They've required some saves from Carnesecchi. Inter bullish as ever. via Simone Inzaghi, who said, we've won the last 3, we want to defend our crown. Never shy away from saying that they aren't targeting a specific piece of silverware. Inter, sloppy from Çalhanoğlu. Durone. Zaniolo. Curl kept it in play. Brescianini's got there ahead of Barella. Good ball back in. Zaniolo will collect. Zaniolo's shot. Now Scalvini. And Kolasinac. It's a corner. Really sloppy from Inter there. They had several chances to get the ball clear. Instead they dawdled and dallied. And they were nearly picked off. Samardzic takes the corner, headed clear by Mkhitaryan. Zappacosta. That was as much self-preservation as anything else. Realised that if he took a touch, he'd have Inter players charging at him. Decided to sweep it back into the box, first time. Barella. Mkhitaryan under pressure. It was Durone going with his man. They are still, where possible, following their men. That's why you see Lautaro going deep and Kosunu staying with him. It does mean that if you're Inter and you can play one-touch football and drag players out of positions, make third-man runs, you can get joy against Atalanta. We've seen that in the past for the Nerazzurri. Sommer finding Lautaro Martinez, clever drop of the shoulder from him. Now he brings in Çalhanoğlu. Zaniolo getting back. Kosunu gave it away. So too did Dumfries lose the ball. They're on an excellent run of form and indeed clean sheets, Inter. You leave aside their reverse at Leverkusen in the Champions League. One back high by Mkhitaryan. This is Thuram for Lautaro Martinez. It just won't go in at the moment. Atalanta playing with fire there. They nearly got burnt. Good interception from Mkhitaryan. Thuram could have gone himself. Instead, he unselfishly teed up his skipper. But you do start to wonder, given the form Lautaro's in, and that was a shinner, whether Marcus Thuram, Serie A's leading goal scorer, should have tried his luck himself. A dozen in the league. Not seen him yet test carne secchi tonight, and Marotta, who knows the cameras are on him, showed clearly what he thought of that particular miss from his captain. It's a foul by Zaniolo this time. Stray limb catching Mkhitaryan. Shake of the head from Zaniolo, and you heard Durone there saying non possiamo, you know, we can't play in conditions such as these. They feel the officiating's a bit soft. It's occasionally the inference that referees haven't played the game themselves, and that's, I'm sure, what Gasperini is saying. You don't go around playing with your arms down by your side. It's all about protecting the ball, or what the Italians say, prendere posizione, where you get to the ball ahead of your opponent. I can understand why Mkhitaryan went down holding his face. He was caught, but equally given the height difference between him and Zaniolo, given Zaniolo was trying to shield the ball. Not sure there was a great deal wrong with the challenge. Sommer taking a chance. Bastoni. Di Marco. Well won by Hien. Now Tyrone saying that he was fouled. Certainly caught late in trying to make the pass, and in seeking retribution he's gone clattering into the other captain. Çalhanoğlu. De Vrij. Bisek. Barella's ball forward, Lautaro Martinez. He's got there. This is Denzel Dumfries. No penalty, says Daniele Chiffi. Ruggeri making the challenge. Inter want the referee to refer this to the video assistant referee, but it will only come if the VAR flags it up. The home crowd booing. The local crowd, I should say, but they are essentially like a home crowd for Inter. Dumfries was through 1v1. Lovely hold-up play by Lautaro Martinez. Ruggeri had to catch up there. And he seemed to just go down gradually, Dumfries. That might be the issue. There possibly was contact there. Well, in fact, no. It's Dumfries dragging his leg against Ruggeri. Very good decision there from Daniele Chiffi. That is in no way a penalty. Dumfries himself kicks against Ruggeri. Good refereeing. And he's being a bit disingenuous there, the Dutchman. Forward by Kosunu. Brescianini is after it. A rare misjudgment there from Bastoni. Kosunu bypasses Scalvini. Kolasinac joining in. This is Zaniolo. Kolasinac wanted it again. It's a corner. Much better from Atalanta. The local fans all cheering on Inter. Atalanta won't mind that. They've won at some hostile atmospheres before. Samardzic in. Doesn't clear the near post. Samardzic. Dumfries did well. Away by Çalhanoğlu. Kolasinac. Ruggeri. No obvious outball for him. That's why Carnesecchi has to come and show for it. Not the best clearance, but Zaniolo's got there. This is Tyrone. Zappacosta. Tyrone for Samardzic. Samardzic between the lines. Zaniolo had made the run. It's opened up space for Ruggeri. Now Scalvini. Brescianini with the header. He rose well. Zappacosta disappointed that the ball wasn't left for him. But they've got better as the first half has worn on, Atalanta. And thus far, the team selection has not looked a bad call from Gasperini. The result is justifying his call. Then again, they've needed a bit of the rub of the green. Have also needed some saves from Carnesecchi. No added time at the end of the first half at Al-Awwal Park. Inter have been wasteful in front of goal. Lautaro Martinez particularly culpable, but Carnesecchi has also produced a string of saves. One notable stop to keep out the Inter captain. Zaniolo hasn't offered a great deal. Best chance for Atalanta was arguably the header from Scalvini, who was unmarked inside the 6-yard box. If Inter are to make it through to Monday's final, they'll need to score in the second half, else we're going to penalties. At the break here, Inter 0, Atalanta 0. Al-Awwal Park, ahead of the second half of this first semi-final in the EA Sports FC Super Cup. Reminder of the format, it's a final four. Tonight we've got the reigning Serie A champions Inter against last season's beaten Coppa Italia finalists Atalanta. Tomorrow it's the turn of Juventus, the Coppa Italia holders, against Serie A runners-up Milan. A switch for the second half on the way. Mehdi Taremi taking the place of Marcus Thuram for the second period, so he'll go and play up alongside the skipper Lautaro Martinez. Taremi with just the one goal for Inter so far. It came in the Champions League from the penalty spot. How he'd love to double his tally with a potentially pivotal goal this evening. As things stand, we're potentially 45 minutes away from a penalty shootout. Something's got to give between Inter and Atalanta. There has to be a winner this evening, understandably, but there's no extra time. Straight to penalties if the game were to finish level after 90 minutes. And Inter have done much more of the penetrating compared with their opponents. Will Atalanta be brighter in the second half? They were not great in the first. Zaniolo finding a cross. Brescianini went to attack it. Recap of the teams running across the bottom of your picture. Just the one switch for Inter in this second half. Taremi for Thuram. But it's Lautaro Martinez in particular who's been wasteful in front of goal. It's been a profligate season for the Argentine, but tonight has really summarised it quite eloquently. Atalanta going with almost unrecognisable side. When they lost 4-0 to Inter back in late August, they did have a very makeshift team in terms of the back three rather. Ruggeri, Derone and Jim City played at the back. Derone is a midfielder, Ruggeri a left wing back. Tonight they have centre-back, Scalvini playing in midfield, albeit he can do that role. Inter have gone with the first choice side. Had Acerbi and Pavard been fit, then they would have started the match, I expect, but still out injured, which is why De Vrij is having to do overtime. Dumfries very much first choice ahead of Darmian on the right side in that wing-back role at the moment. Forward by Çalhanoğlu. Bastoni flicks it on. Di Marco now, lovely first touch. Di Marco's shot was deflected. That's why Inter have a corner. An apologetic hand up for not seeking out his skipper. Given how Lautaro has finished tonight, can't necessarily disagree with Di Marco. Crowd are cheering on Inter, they've made that very clear right from the outset. The shirts are a pretty good clue as well. Di Marco takes the corner, Bisek's header. It's the second time tonight. The referee, I believe, has awarded another corner, even though Inter didn't appeal for it, and the Atalanta players are looking bemused by this decision from Daniele Chiffi. Ian went up with Bisek. Tackle might be an option on the volley, lurking on the edge of the box. He awarded it, but surely that challenge there from the Dutchman on Scalvini will warrant a review from Rosario Abisso. Scalvini made the most of it, but Inter were away celebrating. Just the start they would have wanted in the second half, the Nerazzurri. Carnesecchi astonished by the call. Derone seeking an explanation from the referee. The goal stands, the ball becomes a collector's item, and Inter lead in the competition they have dominated. It wasn't seen as a foul by Dumfries on Scalvini. And the Dutchman then swivelled and delivered. And it's the same old story for Atalanta against Inter. Sent on Mehdi Taremi to try and get a goal. Instead it was Denzel Dumfries coming good with the strike. He has scored some significant ones this season. Given away by Kosunu to Lautaro Martinez, then Derone tripped Lautaro. This is not happening tonight for Atalanta. Might be heading home tomorrow at this rate. Well, it's a reward for the weight of opportunities they created in the opening 45 minutes. Inter had so many chances. Carnesecchi kept out plenty. Could do nothing about that Dumfries finish from close range. Çalhanoğlu with the free kick meantime. Derone got his head to it. Taremi underneath it. Losing out, and Atalanta will try and counter. Brescianini, Ruggeri finding Samardzic. That's a foul by Mkhitaryan. The referee did see the challenge live, so therefore any review would have been subject to Rosario Abisso deeming it a clear and obvious error, our video assistant referee. He's working alongside Francesco Meraviglia. We've got Edison and Lookman on the way for Atalanta. Gasperini decided to give it a go with two of his first choices, first teamers rather. Gasperini said we've struggled against Inter in the last two matches. Now let's see where we're at. He was referring to those two 4-0 losses. Look at the statistics, possibly the expected goals as well. We'll say that Inter could have feasibly been on course for a 4-0 win tonight. They might still get there. It's all important as to see who might score the next goal if there is to be one. Çalhanoğlu for Lautaro. Taremi racing after it. Lautaro picks up the pieces. Couldn't quite find Mehdi Taremi. Brescianini, nicely done. Much more technical player than he's given credit for. Mkhitaryan doing the tidying up. De Ketelaere on the way as well. Gasperini making a three-pronged change. A trio of big hitters. Dumfries. Taremi making the run, he looked offside. Taremi beaten to it by Carnesecchi. Flag doesn't go up, Atalanta have the ball. Would Taremi have looked for Di Marco, he'd gambled on square ball. Kosunu. Turone. Brescianini for Zappacosta. Samardzic. Ruggeri. Atalanta substitutes will have to wait for the ball to go out of play. Patient possession is Hien. Kolasinac. Ruggeri now for Zaniolo. Not the right fit in this system, if you ask me. It's better off the bench. Turone wins the loose ball. Scalvini now. Cut out by Çalhanoğlu, but here's Zaniolo. Brescianini make his way into the box. Zaniolo's cross. Doesn't have enough bent. And now we'll see which three players will come off to make way for Italiana, Lookman and Ederson. Zaniolo's full Atalanta debut comes to an end after 10 minutes of the second half. No real impact against the team where he came through the academy. So Lookman is on for Zaniolo. Samardzic replaced by Italiana, presumably Scalvini having been booked. Will cede his place to Ederson. Instead it's Ruggeri withdrawn. We'll see how Atalanta's shape changes now. Scalvini is a right wing-back from the looks of things. Not sure we've seen him in that position before. De Vrij. Lautaro holding it up. Lovely ball round the corner for Mkhitaryan. Just couldn't take it with him. Scalvini hasn't dealt with it. Handball by Mkhitaryan. Was perplexed by that. That's the turn of the Inter players to warm up. Shock of blonde hair you're seeing down pitch side is Davide Fratesi's gone clearly to a similar stylist to Federico Di Marco. Fratesi now being linked with the move away as early as January. Scored in Inter's semi-final win last season. That was against Lazio. They beat the Biancocelesti 3-0. Before then defeating Napoli in the final. Lautaro getting the only goal. Lookman. Kolasinac tried to return the favour. De Vrij. Di Marco. Given away by Çalhanoğlu for once. Turone. Brescianini. Now Gasperini astonished that Atalanta haven't got this decision either for the throw-in. He's taking it up with Luca Zufferi, the fourth official, and indeed the assistant on this near side, Dario Cecconi. Clever ball by De Vrij. Mkhitaryan. Improvised defending from Hien. Ederson. Doubled up well there. Dumfries. And still, it's broken the way of Ederson, who will provide A bit more energy in that midfield, and the thrust too that they've lacked this evening, Atalanta. Lookman will offer quality. Lookman for Brescianini. Was he caught by Taremi? Gets back to his feet. Atalanta still have the ball. Zappacosta wants it on the far side. De Roon. Kosunu. This is De Ketelaere. Kosunu. Scalvini. De Ketelaere. No one in the penalty area to look for. So he goes the other way with Ederson. This is where Lookman can hurt Inter. Can hurt anyone. Ederson. De Ketelaere, sit on his left foot. Scalvini's cross. Left for Lookman by Brescianini. Atalanta immediately look more potent with Lookman and De Ketelaere on the pitch. We shouldn't be surprised. Ederson. Lookman comes short. Lookman nearly got away from Bisek. Now Inter will try and spring forward on the counter. Mkhitaryan, Barella, into Di Marco. Foot there. A rocket with the instep. And despite De Ketelaere and Lookman, Inter just always have their way against Atalanta. Scalvini has now been taken off. Jim City on. This might be damage limitation at this stage. That's why they gave Denzel Dumfries a new contract. That's why, despite him being linked with a departure at the end of last season, entering into the final 12 months of his contract, Inter kept him at the club, handed him a new deal till 2028. It's looking like good business. Here's Brescianini. De Roon can't get there. Di Marco did, and now there's danger of Inter just picking Atalanta apart once more. Hard to know what to do now if you're Atalanta, but again, Inter just underlining why they are the dominant force in Italian football, why they have also hoovered up this competition 3 years running. No one's ever won it. 4 on the spin, incidentally. Milan claimed it. Hat-trick of trophies in the early 90s. Ederson. Lookman controls, but doesn't finish. He was offside in any case. Just seemed to rush the finish, having brought it under control expertly well. Was fighting a losing battle in trying to bend his run there, Dumfries. And he is two-footed, Lookman, so wouldn't have been fazed by that being on his left foot. Won by Jim City. Kosunu wins the header. Out by Çalhanoğlu. Now Barella for Lautaro Martinez. They're enjoying themselves again into such an irresistible combination. Clean sheets, then 27 of them in 2024, closed out the calendar year with 4 straight wins without conceding. And this attacking threat that sees them put 6 past Lazio, 2 against Atalanta tonight, having scored 4 against Ladea in August. Lautaro Martinez, that's wonderful work. Zappacosta had to hurry back. Di Marco keeps it in play. Taremi, heavy touch, just lost the ball. Ederson. Lookman again in that inside channel. No foul by Dumfries. And this is Çalhanoğlu with purpose. Lautaro making the run. Hien got there. But it's not been a good night for Isak Hien. Missed the game in match day 3 in the league with flu. Good ball from Mkhitaryan, Taremi. Bastoni. Nice ball that from Di Marco. Bastoni has time and space. Bastoni going himself here against his former club. And he made the challenge. Lautaro frustrated that, again, he didn't get the service. It would take a dramatic turnaround now for Atalanta to somehow defeat Inter and make it through to Monday's EA Sports FC Super Cup final. But this game would go straight to penalties, so they only need to draw come 90 minutes, but that means scoring 2 without reply. They're in greater danger of conceding a third here as opposed to scoring. In comes the set piece. Too high for Taremi. Di Marco, they're queuing up. And Lautaro unhappy that Bisek was in front of him. Oh my God, says the German. Wonderful shape on it from Di Marco, too high for Jim City. Would Lautaro have scored had Bisek not attacked the ball? We'll never know. Inter now have the luxury of resting and rotating. Carlos Augusto will play a quarter of this match. Bastoni coming off, so Carlos Augusto will play at left centre-back, and Çalhanoğlu, the regista, gives way to another deep-line playmaker in Christian Aslani. Gasperini is going to hand an opportunity to a youngster as well in due course. Palestra is on for Kosunu. Palestra will play in his natural position. Wide right. Made his full debut in the 6-1 cup win over Cesena, Palestra, but been used predominantly off the bench. Another Atalanta Academy graduate. There are so many, have been so many down the years. Well, Dumfries spoke to the media before this match. He was asked whether this was essentially the final between Inter and Atalanta, given their form this season, whether whoever wins tonight will go on and easily win Monday's final. Dumfries, deadpan, said no, it's the semi-final. Whether he understood the question correctly or not, or whether it was a sign of respect towards not only Atalanta but also Juventus and Milan in the other semi-final. Clearly he's got an affinity with this competition and this stadium. Mkhitaryan, such an intelligent footballer. Overhit for Bisek though. Kolasinac. Here. Brescianini between the lines. To Ketelare now. Kolasinac. Edison made to hurry by Taremi. And then Lautaro. Inter just seemed to have more energy. It is making miraculous stop after miraculous stop. Does Lautaro still believe he can score tonight? That would have killed off the game. Maybe Di Marco should have just put it in the net himself. Lookman to Ketelare. Palestra keeps it in play. He lost the ball for that into transition. Derone. Jim City. Palestra now. Cutting inside on his favoured left foot. Jim City. Lautaro won't rest until he gets that goal. Kolasinac. Edison for Brescianini. Inter staying switched on at the back. They don't want to concede and give Atalanta a route back into the contest. Palestra. Still going, Palestra. Di Marco doing some good defending. Jim City. A spell for Atalanta in the ascendancy, but Inter are quite comfortable now playing on the counter with that 2-goal lead. Edison. Jim City stepping forward. Now they have numbers in the box. Too high for Derone. Bisek and Dumfries went for the same ball. Lookman keeps it in play. Atalanta aren't done just yet. Ademola Lookman. And it's Edison who takes the applause. They're keeping fighting here, and they still believe they can come back. Carlos Augusto kept it off the line. But it is the substitute, Edison, with only a 3rd goal of this season. He initially teed up Lookman. De Ketelaere wondering how he didn't score here because of Carlos Augusto. And then eventually Edison slotted it home after the improvised first effort. This was a neat finish with his left foot. And Di Marco thought he'd kept it out on the line, only to ricochet it into the side netting. And Lautaro now thinking about that goal that he had, that chance that he had to make it 3-0 and put the game to bed. Not sure what they're checking for here. Is it a possible offside position? Might get a let-off here, Inter, because that was a good spell for Atalanta. Edison wondering how on earth this goal can be ruled out. Someone handling there? Was there a player in an offside position that may have been interfering with play? I didn't see a great deal wrong with it. Is it De Ketelaere's position there? Was he offside when Edison initially tried that first shot? Because then it came back off De Ketelaere to an Atalanta player. If he's the wrong side of the last defender, the Belgian, the goal won't stand. And it will remain Inter 2, Atalanta 0. That can be the only thing that might be wrong with this particular goal, I would think. De Ketelaere possibly being offside in a prior phase of play leading up to Edison's finish. Watch De Ketelaere as he plays it there. Touch and go is what the 4th official, Luca Zufferli, is saying. And the goal is indeed ruled out for offside. And it remains Inter 2, Atalanta 0. Big let-off there for the champions, and for Lautaro Martinez in particular. And Percassi, father and son, trying to get a steer on why exactly the goal has been ruled out. Gasperini not impressed. Edison also unhappy. And Inter are going to take the opportunity to throw on Matteo Darmian in the meantime. Di Marco coming off. Darmian is versatile and being able to operate as either a left or a right wing back. It'll be the former role that he's asked to play now. In the end, Inter might finish the match with another clean sheet. Di Marco thought that he'd just diverted that shot from Ederson into the corner. The goal hasn't stood, and now Ederson and his teammate Lookman asking the referee why exactly the goal doesn't stand. That will be a wake-up call for Inter. They thought they had the job done at 2-0. Did show just how fragile this advantage is if Atalanta can indeed find the net with a valid goal. Lautaro's gone lunging in there on Jim City. He thinks he played the ball. But Lautaro is now in danger of doing what they say in Italy as strafare, almost trying too hard, because he's so desperate to get another goal and go on a scoring run, something that he's got accustomed to down the years. Hope that that Cagliari strike could be a springboard towards a real purple patch. It's not proven to be the case. There is still time for him to score tonight. I'm sure Inter will be a bit more proactive in their approach now, having seen what can happen if they sit back and encourage Atalanta too much. Hien under pressure. Lookman, Ederson, surging away from Inter players. Still Ederson. What a run from him. Now Zappacosta, miscued, it reaches Ederson. Had it taken away from him. Mkhitaryan for Barella. Now Inter will try and get forward in support. Asllani joining in, Taremi as well. Does look like Inter going to be the first finalist in the EA Sports FC Super Cup, thanks to that man, Denzel Dumfries. Scored both goals, and now he's just won a free kick to break up the play. But that's the culprit, Charles de Ketelade. That's why the goal was ruled out. He was offside here, marginally, when the ball came back in from Ederson. And just on a personal level, I don't really like to see goals disallowed for marginal decisions like that, which didn't really have a huge impact on the goal, if you ask me, but the laws are the laws. Palestra with the cross, headed behind by Asllani. Fratesi on the way. Palestra takes the corner, missed by Lautaro Martinez. Here's Lookman. Barella did enough. Zappacosta opening up the angle. Well struck through the crowd. Taremi holding it up. Ederson fouled him. This is Carlos Augusto playing right wing. He waits for Lautaro Martinez. Great work from Palestra. Lovely ball from Carlos Augusto. Marco Palestra really brave in tracking back and making sure Lautaro didn't have a tap in. Barella gets a breather. They are international teammates as well, Barella and Fratesi. They often start alongside each other for Luciano Spalletti's Azzurri, but at club level, Fratesi is very much a reserve, and that's why his agent has been making a bit of noise in the media. There is talk of him seeking a move away from Inter, either in the summer or perhaps even in January. Window opens today, incidentally, in Italy. Roma might be someone seeking a new midfielder. The problem is Fratesi won't come cheap. The total package to recruit him from Sassuolo was 32 million euros, including add-ons. Inter would want somewhere in the region of 40, which is a lot for a player. Can't really get in their team, but he is a goal-scoring midfielder. It's a fairly rare currency. Edison loves to carry the ball from deep. Kolasinac. Lookman dispossessed by Darmian. Dumfries runs away with it. Man of the match performance from him. There's absolutely no question as to who will win that particular award. There's not much doubt as to who will win tonight's match either. Juventus against Milan tomorrow looks a tougher game to call. Juventus, the draw specialists in Serie A, 11 draws and 7 wins from their 18 matches, yet to lose. Milan having such a bad campaign that Paulo Fonseca paid for it with his job, and it's been replaced by his compatriot Sergio Conceição. We have that wonderful subplot tomorrow, father against son. Almost sounds like a Cat Stevens song. He is the Super Cup specialist, Simone Inzaghi. 5 participations, 5 wins. This is his 6th. Claimed it twice with Lazio, 3 in a row in all 3 of his seasons at Inter so far. Looking to make it 4 from 4 with the Nerazzurri. Carlos Augusto away. Lautaro came from deep. Kolasinac stepped across him. Carnesecchi arguably doesn't deserve to be on the losing side tonight. But the fact he's had to make so many saves is just further evidence of how dominant Inter have been once more against Gasperini's Atalanta. Sure, it might not be a 4-0 at this stage, but it's not far off it in terms of the balance of play. You do begin to wonder what might have happened had Edison, Lookman and De Ketelaere all been on the team sheet to start as opposed to amongst the substitutes. A little bit negative maybe from Gasperini. He did say he wanted to see all of his squad to figure out how they would cope with the demands of the title race in the second half of the season. The problem is the way Inter are playing. From an Atalanta perspective, I'd fully expect Inter to go to Florence and win that game in hand. Match initially abandoned after Eduardo Bove fell ill. Lookman, Edison, Jim City might be tempted to have a crack. Instead he finds Palestra. Palestra's cross just bounced off Zappacosta, who will have seen it late. He had Lookman right in front of him. Dumfries, Barella, Carnesecchi and Edison, the possible players of the match. Well, it won't be Edison, his goal was disallowed. Should be Dumfries. Carnesecchi with an honourable mention. And Barella sets such high standards that people just occasionally overlook him. But Inter fans and all those inside the club are well aware of what a prized asset he is. Atalanta, the 12th different team to take part in the Italian Super Cup, debutants as well. Might well be back next year. If they were to finish in the top 2 in Serie A, they would have the right to be in the final four. If they were to make the Coppa Italia final again, they would also qualify. That's how they made it this time around. Palestra. Still Palestra. Now Gym City, Italiana. Zappacosta. Easy for Bisek. Lautaro still working very hard. Looking increasingly jaded though. Hien. Lost out to Lautaro. Mkhitaryan too strong for Hien. Taremi playing centre forward. Fratesi's there as well. This is Aslani. De Vrij. Mkhitaryan with the freedom of Riyadh. Carlos Augusto making the forward run. He spotted him with his peripheral vision, Mkhitaryan. That's why he's got such a good footballing brain. Didn't even seem to be looking anywhere near Carlos Augusto. Didn't quite get the weight right on the pass. Kadrisecki under pressure here. He's had to concede a throw. Could have easily gone awry there. But his shot stopping cannot be called into question. One of the best, if not the best, that Italy has to offer in that department. Dumfries is still on a hat-trick. It's his long throw, flicked on by Darmian. Atalanta appear to have given up any hope of scoring the 2 goals they require to send this game to penalties. Can they at least get one? Hien. Gym City. Palestra, who was caught. Not sure what Simone Inzaghi suggesting there. It's a clear foul by Carlos Augusto. Yellow card might be a little bit excessive. But he caught Palestra as he finished his follow-through. Wonder whether that yellow card might be as much for his reaction to the decision as anything else. Edison. Italiana. Palestro's been bright since coming off the bench. That's a clever ball for Derone. Brescianini now, trying to turn away. Struck it with power, he gets a corner. Pitched in with a couple of goals recently, Brescianini, including a late equaliser at Lazio. It's nearly a late goal here to give Atalanta a lifeline. He's got a lovely left foot, scored against Cesena as well in the cup, but De Vrij got a touch on that. Nick there with some fabulous reflexes. It looks like Inter will go away with a clean sheet. It looks like Inter will finish tonight as victors, but this could have been a very different situation. Gym City kept out by Sommer. The first save was not the best, the second was excellent, because he had to react very quickly to Lookman. Both efforts fairly close to the goalkeeper, and in the end, Gym City and Lookman got the third effort wrong. It's a wry smile from Gasperini. Seems to suggest it's not Atalanta's night. They've huffed and they've puffed. And they've got 6 minutes still to withstand here. Lookman, Italiana into the path of Zappacosta. How different things could have been. Zappacosta, too much on it for Italiana. Well, the 2 goalkeepers are certainly impressed tonight. Do wonder whether Sommer needed to push the ball straight to an Atalanta player after that first effort. Gasperini has had enough of the cameraman continually filming him, but that's part of the job. His reaction is always one that we want to see. Aslani wailing out in pain. Left by Taremi, wanted the ball round the corner. Edison now. Lookman ahead of him. Still technically got time, Atalanta, but they need to hurry and score one. Then get a second very quickly. Long by Darmian. Hien winning the 50-50 with Lautaro Martinez. Jim City. Palestra. Derone. Away from Lautaro Martinez. Still Martin Derone. Brescianini, was he being held? He's found Derone. Lovely ball in. Lookman couldn't quite get there. Zappacosta does. Jim City. Lookman. Will someone take a shot? Inter have got it away. Taremi finds Lautaro. It's a foul by Hien. Just keeps on producing in this competition, Simone Inzaghi. There was no danger of him resting tonight. He saw it as an opportunity to pick up a piece of silverware, to make another statement to the rest of Italy that Inter are the best team around. They want to go deep in the Coppa Italia, the Champions League. They have their league title to defend as well. Atalanta have never won the league, so that means they lack experience in a title race. Napoli have been there and done it recently, 2 years ago, albeit with a different coach. Hien losing out to Mkhitaryan. Is there time for a third? Lautaro Martinez. Mkhitaryan for Lautaro. He can play in Taremi. Lautaro, though, wants a goal himself. He's getting greedy now. He's becoming desperate. They will look back over this footage. They will work with the match analysts on what they need to improve, what worked well, but Lautaro's finishing is not up to his usually impeccably high standards. Last season's capocannoniere in Serie A, lest we forget, 24 goals in the league. Aslani. Long by Sommer. Dumfries with the flick. Fratesi gives chase. So too does Edison. Got that wonderful acceleration, Edison. Lookman now, as we approach the final minute of added time. Aslani comes away with the ball. Then he was tripped by Lookman in the view of the referee. Carlos Augusto. Lautaro rides the challenge. It's got Taremi to his left. Now it's Mehdi Taremi. Still Taremi. Fratesi. Try as they might, Inter can't score a third goal this evening. not that it matters. They're very much into the final now. Kolasinac felt he was fouled in midfield in the lead up to that. Might well have had a case too. That was nicely done by Taremi, hurdling the challenge. Could have shot just there. Instead he tried to put it on a plate for either Lautaro or Fratesi. Fratesi really should have left that for Dumfries, who could have had the hat-trick, could have hit it first time as well. Instead, Fratesi was on his left side, took a touch and wasted time. Instead, Dumfries could have been taking home the match ball. 6 out of minutes have been played. A double from the Dutchman, Super Cup final. They kept a clean sheet as well after a bit of a scare when it appeared Ederson had scored to halve the deficit. Kadnesecki kept out plenty of shots, otherwise Inter could have run away with it this evening. But they underline their dominance over Atalanta. 7 straight wins across all competitions against La Dea now. And Inter will have the chance to make it 4 in a row against the winners of Juventus and Milan. They play tomorrow, the finals on Monday. We'll leave you with the final score. It is finished Inter 2, Atalanta 0.